Hi, I'm Miko Peled, and I'm speaking to you from Palestine House of Freedom here in Washington, D.C. We see these attempts to fix particular issues and discuss particular issues within the tragedy of Palestine. And focusing on the particular issues without dealing with the source of the problem is failing, has been failing, and will continue to fail. One example is the attempts to bring about a ceasefire. A ceasefire, to begin with, is the wrong approach when a genocide is taking place. It is not unsimilar to the demands or the discussion on the two-state solution, negotiations with the apartheid state. Who will come and govern the Gaza Strip post the genocide? All of these conversations take into account a collaboration or an agreement with the apartheid state, with the Zionist state. And as long as we do that, we're not going to end the problem. The problem is the existence of the Zionist state, is the existence of the apartheid regime. To end the genocide, we need to end the apartheid state. That should be the bottom line. So again, rather than talking about a ceasefire, we need to talk about the end of the genocide and the end of the apartheid within all of Palestine. We need a holistic approach that will bring an end to the tragedy of Palestine, to the reality, the tragic reality in which Palestinians exist and have existed for so long. The killing of protesters is another one of these issues. The Zionist forces have been killing and shooting protesters for decades. There's nothing new about this. They're killing Palestinians, they're killing foreigners, they're killing Americans. They're killing protesters because they want to brutally oppress the Palestinian resistance, be it armed or unarmed. That is the problem. So unless, once again, we talk about the root of the problem, unless we discuss how we bring about the end of the apartheid state, we're not going to solve any of these problems. We've seen these horrendous attacks with thousands of casualties in Lebanon recently. It would be unthinkable to defend people within Palestine and around Palestine as long as the apartheid regime is maintained in its place. That always comes back. Every issue we discuss always comes back to that. And so with that in mind, we need to move forward with two very clear objectives. The first one is dismantling the apartheid state. And the second one is having a free democratic Palestine take its place, be established in its place. There are discussions as to who will govern the Gaza Strip once the genocide is over, once there is a ceasefire. Well, there's not going to be a ceasefire. And the Gaza Strip is not a state that needs to be ruled. The people of the Gaza Strip, over 2 million people, are living in a prison. The prison needs to be dismantled. It does not need a new warden. What needs to happen is the Gaza Strip needs to be dismantled so the people in Gaza are free to come and go, to return to their homes, their lands, and so forth, to have access to all the resources that exist within Palestine, like food, like water, like medical supplies, like access to medical care, and so on, that exist just outside the Gaza Strip prison. My friend Yusuf al-Jamal describes it. It's a concentration camp that has become a death camp. So all of these conversations, once again, that focus on the issues as opposed to focusing on the source of the tragedy are going to lead to nothing and have led to nothing, as we've seen. Some of the other issues that we will be discussing, that we will be talking about here at Palestine House of Freedom, and these are burning issues that are tragically torturing and killing Palestinians and are part of this system of terror under which Palestinians exist. The existence of Palestinians in Jerusalem, the existence of Palestinians in the city of Hebron, and the desecration of those holy places, both in Jerusalem and in Hebron at the Ibrahimi Mosque. The issue of Palestinians, again, throughout the rest of Palestine, the existence of Palestinians in the refugee camps, the assault against UNRWA, and not to take away from the importance of the work that is being done and the suppression of the work that's being done here in the United States. We have seen horrific suppression of the students, the heroic work that students have been doing on campuses. The student movement is a heroic movement, and we need to do everything we can to support them, to be there for them, to learn about how they plan to move forward, and to be there for them as the administrations and the local governments and the federal government are operating to suppress them. These are burning issues, and each and every one of those relates back to the existence of the apartheid state, its influence here in the United States. We can stand up. We must stand up. We need to be aware, we need to be educated, and we need to be fierce in our stance for Palestine, unapologetically. And so I want to encourage everyone to listen to what we have, participate, engage, share, and realize that it's not the freedom of Palestinian people, the guarantee of their safety and security is not going to come from a particular candidate. It's not going to come from a particular president. It's not going to come from a particular local leader. It's going to come when we stand up and we demand that decision makers here in Washington, D.C. change the conversation rather than talk about how to support the apartheid state, rather than talk about how they provide more weapons to the apartheid state, rather than take down Palestinians and other Arabs who come to speak for Palestine. They need to talk about dismantling the apartheid state. They need to talk about ending the genocide. And they need to talk about the creation of a free, democratic Palestine with equal rights from the river to the sea. This solution will not only guarantee the lives and the safety of Palestinians, but will improve the lives and the existence of everyone who lives within historic Palestine. That should be our number one mission. Thank you so much.